The bus shook as it went over a rough patch on the road. Olivia held tightly to the strap of her handbag. She shifted in her seat, pressing herself against the window to avoid touching the young woman beside her. The dusty road stretched far ahead, with tall trees on both sides gently swaying in the wind. Olivia sighed deeply. Her mind had been full of thoughts since she got on the bus that morning. She adjusted her head tie, a bright blue scarf that looked too fancy for such a dusty, crowded bus. The trip was going to be long. 7 hours of bumpy roads, cramped seats, and noisy passengers. But Olivia didn't care. The discomfort was a small price to pay for the mission she was determined to complete. As the bus moved on, her thoughts drifted to Yumi, the small village where she was born. Olivia had been born in a clay house with a rusted iron roof that leaked when it rained. She and her twin brother, Paul, were the pride of their parents. Even though their parents were only small-time traders, they worked very hard to give their children a better life. Olivia and Paul were very close as kids. They often ran barefoot through the village paths, chasing dragonflies and exploring the thick bushes behind their house. While other children teased them for always being together, the twins didn't care. They were proud of their bond. One evening, Olivia had told Paul about her dreams. "Paul, do you think we'll ever leave this place? Maybe move to the city and live in one of those big houses like Mr. Lawrence?" she asked. Paul laughed and said, "Of course we will. You'll go to school, marry a rich man. I'll start a big business. Then we'll take care of Mom and Dad. Don't worry, Olivia." His words gave her hope, and she held on to them as she pushed herself through school. While Olivia focused on her studies, dreaming of life beyond Yumi, Paul discovered his passion for business. By the time Olivia finished school and moved to the city, Paul was already running a successful textile trade. Their parents were proud. After graduation, it didn't take long for Olivia to land her first job as an accountant at a good firm. She felt like her childhood dreams were starting to come true. The city was loud and crowded, but she adjusted. She rented a small apartment and focused on work. On her first day at the firm, Olivia met the man who would change her life. She was hurrying through the lobby, holding a folder of papers, when she bumped into someone. The papers flew everywhere, and Olivia stepped right on the man's shiny leather shoe. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," she said quickly, bending down to pick up the papers. "It's all right," the man replied, smiling. "No harm done." Olivia looked up, embarrassed. The man was tall and dark, with a kind smile. His suit looked expensive, and he stood with quiet confidence. I didn't mean to step on you," she stammered, bending again to brush the dust off his shoes. "I'm really sorry." The man chuckled. "Don't worry. First days can be rough. I guess this is your first day." Later that day, during a staff meeting, Olivia found out the man she bumped into was actually Jacob, the owner of the farm. She was so ashamed she couldn't look at him. But after the meeting, Jacob walked up to her. "You're Olivia, right?" he asked. "Yes, sir," she replied carefully. "Call me Jacob," he said with a smile. "No need to be too formal. And don't worry about earlier. I actually found it funny." That was the start of everything. 2 years later, Olivia and Jacob got married. Their marriage marked a new chapter in her life. It was everything she had hoped for. Even though Jacob was rich and well-known, he treated Olivia with respect and supported her dreams. In return, Olivia gave him peace and comfort. 2 years after their wedding, Paul also got married. Their family felt complete. Everyone was doing well. Life seemed perfect. Until it happened. "Madam, wake up." Olivia was pulled out of her deep thoughts, now a shallow sleep, by the voice of a young woman sitting beside her. "Madam, shift. You've been pressing me and using me as your pillow like you paid for my seat. Please, hold yourself well. I don't even know what someone your age is doing on this bus. You should have flown instead. Or maybe your children are useless and can't take care of you. Or maybe you spent your youth chasing married men and ended up alone. Whatever it is, just stay on your own. I'm not the cause of your problems." Olivia was too shocked to respond. How could someone say such things about her, just because she had leaned on her shoulder? Truly, people show you who they are with their words, she thought. "I'm really sorry for the inconvenience," Olivia said quietly, shifting further away. This journey wasn't about comfort or respect. She had to brace herself for whatever else was coming. The sun was starting to set as a bus pulled into the dusty terminal of the small town. Olivia got down carefully, looking around at the unfamiliar place. It was quieter than she had expected. The streets were narrow, lined with shops selling things like vegetables, bread, and fairly used clothes. She had chosen this town on purpose. It was far enough to keep her hidden, and busy enough to offer new chances. She walked to the small apartment that had been arranged for her. The building was old, with paint peeling off the walls. Her apartment was on the last floor, a single room with a tiny kitchen and a small bedroom. It was partly furnished with a bed, a shaky table, and a plastic chair, but it was just what Olivia needed. She didn't want luxury. She needed peace and quiet. She sat on the edge of the bed and looked around. Then she forced a smile. This would be worth the stress. Tomorrow, she would start looking for a job. Tomorrow, her new life would begin. Olivia woke up early the next day and got dressed. She wore a clean blouse and a simple skirt. She wasn't aiming for a high-level job. She knew it would be hard for anyone to hire her at her age. Any small job would do. She carried a folder of fake certificates just in case anyone asked. She walked around town and started with the bigger offices. But things didn't go well. At the first place, the receptionist barely looked at her papers before shaking her head. "We're not hiring," the young woman said rudely, already focused back on her phone. At another office, the manager looked over his glasses and said, "At your age, Ma, what can you really offer us? You should be thinking of retirement." By noon, Olivia's legs were hurting and her heart was heavy. But she decided to try one more place before going home, a small logistics company on a quiet street. The gate was guarded by a stern man who blocked her path. "Yes? Where do you think you're going?" he barked. "I'm here to ask about job openings," Olivia said, trying to stay calm. "Job openings? Madam, go home. We don't need people like you here." Before she could reply, a voice called from behind the gate. "What's going on there?" A young woman in her mid-20s, neatly dressed in a navy blue suit, walked over. The guard quickly stood straight. "Nothing, madam." This woman was just. "I can speak for myself," Olivia cut in. She turned to the young woman. "I'm looking for a job. I heard your company was hiring." The woman, who introduced herself as Nuella, looked Olivia over and gave a small smile. "Come in," she said. "Let's talk inside." In Nuella's office, Olivia shared her story. She kept it simple, just saying she was new in town and willing to do any kind of work. Nuella thought for a moment, then said, "Well, we don't have many openings. The only position we have now is for a cleaner. It's hard work and the pay isn't much." "I'll take it," Olivia said right away. Nuella looked surprised. "Are you sure? It's not easy work." "I'm sure. I really need this job, please." And just like that, Olivia was hired. She started the next day, cleaning floors, taking out trash, and washing the bathrooms. The work was tiring, but she stayed patient. What made it harder was how the other workers treated her. When the manager, Nuella, was around, things went well. Nuella was fair and kind, and everyone did their jobs. But once she stepped out, the place turned to chaos. Most workers ignored their duties, and Olivia always ended up doing more than her share. The assistant manager especially didn't like Olivia. She was proud, bossy, and always trying to prove she was better than Nuella. She believed she deserved to be the real manager, and she didn't hide it. "Old woman," she often muttered under her breath when Olivia walked by. One afternoon, as Olivia mopped the office floor, she heard a voice behind her. "Is this the best you could do with your life? Cleaning floors at your age? So pathetic." Olivia turned to see Becca standing there. "I'm old enough to be your mother," Olivia said calmly. "Please, show some respect." "Respect for you?" Becca laughed loudly. "I can never have a mother like you. Don't insult me." Some of the other staff laughed. Others stayed quiet, afraid to say anything. Only Nuella, the manager, was kind to Olivia. She often came by to check on her, bringing her water or sometimes lunch. "Ma, you're working too hard," Nuella said one day, handing her a small envelope. "Hey, buy something for yourself to eat." Olivia was touched by Nuella's kindness, but it made Becca's cruel behavior hurt even more. It seemed like Becca enjoyed making her suffer. And it wasn't just Becca. Even Idris, the gate man, liked to mock her. One evening, as Olivia was leaving the office, Idris stood in her way. He leaned on the gate, chewing gum and grinning. "Mama cleaner, going home late again?" he asked with a smirk. "Yes, I had extra work today," Olivia answered quietly. He laughed. "Every day is extra work for you now. Huh? Don't you get tired of scrubbing floors? Is this how you plan to live the rest of your life?" Olivia tried to pass, but he blocked her again. "Maybe I should start calling you the queen of mopping sticks. That fits you, doesn't it?" She didn't say a word. She just waited calmly until he finally opened the gate, still laughing as she walked away. Evenings were Olivia's only time to breathe. In her new neighborhood, she had made a friend, Rosaline, a cheerful young woman in her early 20s who helped her mother run a small food shop nearby. Rosaline had first noticed Olivia when she came to buy soup ingredients. "Good evening." Olivia greeted the woman behind the counter. "Good evening, my ma. What do you want to buy?" the woman asked. Olivia listed her items: vegetables, dried fish, and a small tube of yam. The woman packed everything, and Olivia reached into her purse to pay. But her money wasn't enough. "Ah, I'm so sorry," Olivia said, embarrassed. "I thought I had enough." The woman waved it off. "No problem. My daughter can follow you to your house to collect the rest." Rosaline, who had been inside, quickly jumped up. "Let's go." When they got to Olivia's apartment, Rosaline handed her the bag and took the money. But instead of leaving, she looked around the small room. It was neat but simply furnished. "Auntie, do you live here alone?" Rosaline asked. "Yes, my dear," Olivia replied. "No husband? No children?" Rosaline asked with curiosity. Olivia smiled. "I have a son, but he's not here. He's in another town trying to make it." Rosaline's eyes widened. "Your son knows you're here living like this, and he hasn't come to help you." "I'm sorry if I'm being too forward," Rosaline added, "but I don't understand. Is he really your son?" Olivia laughed gently. "He's still trying to build his life. Things have been hard." Rosaline frowned. If it were me, I wouldn't let my mother suffer like this." Olivia was touched by her concern. From that day on, Rosaline often stopped by after work. She would bring Olivia cooked food or help her clean without being asked. One evening, after sweeping the small room, Rosaline sat on the bed with her. "You're such a hard-working young lady," Olivia said warmly. "God bless you. I've never seen anyone like you." "Thank you, Auntie," Rosaline replied. "I just like helping you. You remind me of my late grandmother." Olivia smiled. "You know, I've been thinking. I want you to marry my son." Rosaline froze. "Marry your son? Auntie, are you serious?" "I'm not joking," Olivia said with a nod. "You're kind, respectful, and hard-working. You'd make the perfect wife for him." Rosaline burst into laughter. "Auntie, you want me to marry your son just like that? I don't even know what he looks like." "He's a fine boy," Olivia grinned, "and he has a good heart, just like me." Rosaline raised her eyebrow. "Okay, Auntie, so what does he do? Where is he now?" Olivia paused. "He's still hustling. Things haven't been easy, but he's a good man." Rosaline laughed even harder. "Auntie, I can't marry a poor man. Oh, I didn't come to this world to suffer. I'm a university graduate. I'm just waiting for a good job, but if that doesn't come, at least a rich husband should." She shook her head. "If I marry a poor man, won't I end up cleaning offices like you?" Olivia smiled. "He won't stay poor, Rosaline. He'll become rich. You'll see." Rosaline shook her head firmly. "No, Auntie, I don't have that kind of patience. I want a man who's already rich so I can enjoy life. I want to be cared for, not to manage." Despite Rosaline's refusal, Olivia didn't give up. Every time they sat and talked, she found a way to bring up the idea again. One day, while Olivia and Rosaline were peeling yam together, Olivia said, "I was just thinking, imagine how beautiful your children would be if you and my son were their parents." Rosaline rolled her eyes playfully. "Auntie, don't start again. I've already told you I can't marry your son." "But why not?" Olivia asked. "He's hard-working, and I know he'll take good care of you." "Hard-working doesn't pay bills, Auntie," Rosaline laughed. "I want to marry a man who already has money. I don't want to take any chances." Olivia shook her head and sighed. "Young girls these days, money, money, money. You don't know that a good man is better than richies." Rosaline shrugged. "That's easy for you to say. Auntie, you're not the one who'll suffer with him." Olivia burst into laughter. Fine. I'll stop for today, but I still think you're the perfect wife for my son." Rosaline wagged her finger. "Not me. Oh, Auntie, better find someone else." Even though Rosaline refused Olivia's idea, their bond grew stronger. Rosaline respected Olivia's strength and treated her like a mother. Olivia, in turn, loved Rosaline's cheerful nature and how helpful she was. They often teased each other and shared light-hearted arguments. One day, while Rosaline was ironing Olivia's clothes, she joked, "Auntie, if your son becomes rich tomorrow, let me know. I might change my mind." Olivia chuckled. "I'll let you know, but by then, you might already be married to a rich man." "Exactly," Rosaline said. "That's why I'm not waiting. Time doesn't wait for anyone. Olivia laughed. You're a stubborn girl, Rosaline, but I still love you. And I love you too, Auntie, Rosaline smiled. The days of the logistics company turned into weeks, and Olivia grew tired. Not just from the hard work, but also from the emotional stress of dealing with Becca and her group. The younger staff seemed to enjoy making Olivia's life difficult. They were always looking for new ways to insult and embarrass her. One of them, Rita, was the worst. She was loud, proud, and always ready to cause trouble. From the day Olivia started working there, Rita had picked her as a target. One morning, as Olivia entered the staff room to clean, she saw that it was messier than usual. Coffee cups were left on the table, and paper was all over the floor. She sighed and began cleaning. "Ah, Mama!" Rita's voice rang out. "You came just in time. I was about to make another mess." Olivia turned and saw her holding a bag of groundnuts. Rita smirked and threw the shells on the floor. "Oops," she said with fake concern. "Looks like you have more work to do." Olivia paused. "Rita, why are you doing this? I'm old enough to be your mother. At least respect me for that." "Respect you?" Rita scoffed. "You think I'll respect a cleaner? Don't make me laugh. Just do your job and clean the floor." Olivia quietly started picking up the shells. The others in the room laughed. Rita leaned closer and whispered, "Maybe if you work faster, they'll promote you from cleaner to head cleaner." She burst out laughing, and the others joined her. Olivia didn't respond. She kept cleaning, holding in her anger and shame. She reminded herself why she was there. She had a goal and needed this job. Another day, during lunch break, Rita played a cool trick. Earlier that morning, Olivia had put her small bowl of rice and stew in the staff fridge. It was all she had. When she went to get it, the bowl was gone. She looked again, but the fridge was empty. Then she saw Becca and Rita eating rice and laughing. "Rita," Olivia said carefully, "have you seen my lunch? I left it in a blue bowl in the fridge." Rita raised her eyebrows. "Oh, that? I thought it was trash. So I threw it away. You should label your food next time. And honestly, who eats that kind of food anyway?" Olivia stood in silence, stunned. Becca looked up and added, "Why are you looking like that? If you're hungry, go buy another one. Or ask Nuella for money. She's your savior, isn't she?" The room erupted in laughter. Olivia didn't say a word. She turned and walked out, swallowing her tears. She worked the rest of the day on an empty stomach. Nuella remained the only kind face in the office. More than once, she defended Olivia in front of everyone, even though it made the others talk behind her back and roll their eyes. One morning, Nuella called Olivia into her office. "Ma, please sit down. How are you holding up?" Olivia smiled. "I'm managing. Thank you." Nuella looked at her for a moment. "I know it's not easy here, especially with people like Becca around. But if you ever need someone to talk to, my door is always open." "Thank you. Your kindness means more than I can say." Nuella handed her a small envelope. "Take this. Buy something for yourself. And don't let them get to you." Olivia accepted it with gratitude. "God bless you, my daughter." That same week, the company received an official memo. A high-profile investor would be visiting the following week. The announcement sent the office into a panic. Nuella arranged several meetings to make sure everything would be perfect, while Becca took it upon herself to micromanage everyone, including Olivia. "Old woman, I want this place spotless." Becca shouted as Olivia cleaned the reception area. "And don't forget the bathrooms. If anything is out of place, I'll make sure you regret it." Olivia said nothing. She simply nodded and kept working. She stayed late that night, scrubbing every corner of the office until it was sparkling. On the day of the visit, the staff dressed in their best clothes, ready to impress. Olivia wore her clean, neatly ironed uniform. When the investor arrived, he was more than anyone had expected. He was tall, handsome, confident, and well-dressed. His presence commanded attention. Everyone rushed to greet him politely. Becca's eyes widened when she saw him. "Wow," she whispered to a colleague. "This man is fine, rich, and everything I prayed for." "Behave yourself," someone warned her. "Is here for business, not a wife." Becca rolled her eyes. "Who says I can't be both? Business partner by day, wife by night." The investor introduced himself as Mr. Fred, and was quickly welcomed into Nuella's office. Becca followed him closely, laughing loudly at everything he said. Nuella offered him a seat. "Welcome to our company, Mr. Fred. We've been expecting you." "Thank you, Miss Nuella," Mr. Fred replied with a calm smile. "I've heard good things about your company." But before we continue, I'd like to meet the whole team. It's important to see how everyone works together. Of course, Nuella said. Please give me a moment to gather the staff. Becca ran out excitedly to gather everyone. Within minutes, the staff was seated in the conference room, all trying to appear confident and capable. Mr. Fred explained his plans to expand his business and possibly invest in the company. Everyone listened carefully, nodding along. Becca sat close to him, pretending to take notes, though she was clearly more focused on getting his attention. Then something happened. As Mr. Fred reached for his cup of coffee, his hand accidentally pushed a file, and the coffee spilled across the table and onto the floor. The room went silent. Becca jumped up. "Oh no, no, no," she cried. "Olivia, come here now and clean this mess." Olivia, who had been cleaning the windows in the hallway, heard the noise and rushed in with her mop and towel. But as soon as she stepped into the room and saw Mr. Fred, she froze. Her eyes were locked on his face, and her body wouldn't move. "Olivia, what is wrong with you?" Becca shouted. "Are you deaf? Clean this mess before you embarrass us even more." Some staff members joined in, complaining. Why is she just standing there? Does she think this is a staring contest? "Olivia, move!" Nuella noticed something was wrong. She walked over gently and took the towel from Olivia's hand. "Olivia, are you okay?" she asked softly. Olivia blinked, slowly coming back to herself. "Yes, I'm fine," she said quickly. "Are you sure?" Nuella asked again. "I'm fine," Olivia repeated. She took the towel back and knelt down to clean the spilled coffee. Her hands shook as she wiped the floor. She didn't look at Mr. Fred again. When the mess was cleared, she quietly left the room. "I'm sorry for the interruption," Nuella said to Mr. Fred. "Let's continue, please." Mr. Fred smiled and waved it off. "It's no problem. Accidents happen." The meeting continued. Mr. Fred explained that he wanted to help grow the company into an interstate logistics brand and make it the main delivery provider for his other businesses. The staff, especially Nuella, was impressed. Everyone wanted to stay in Mr. Fred's good books. Becca was practically glowing. "I think he likes me," she whispered to a colleague as they walked out after the meeting. Later that day, Nuella called Olivia back into her office. "Sit down, Ma," she said gently. "What happened earlier? Why did you freeze like that in front of Mr. Fred?" Olivia let out a deep sigh, trying to find the right words. "I'm sorry," she said. "It's just his face. It reminded me of someone I used to know. Someone I lost a long time ago." Nuella's expression softened. "Oh, I understand. I hope you're feeling better now." "Yes," Olivia said. "Thank you." But as Olivia left the company gate that evening, she found herself looking around, wondering if Mr. Fred was still nearby. "What is he doing here?" she sighed. Later that day, Olivia sat on her small bed that night, still confused about what Lucas was doing in town. "What is he doing here?" she wondered. Could Richard have sent him? Or did he come on his own? She picked up a phone and thought about calling Richard. What were they up to, really? As she sat there thinking, a sharp knock came at the door. Olivia froze. Her heart started racing as the knock came again. "Who could that be?" she whispered. She walked carefully to the door, hesitated for a second, then opened it. Standing there with a calm look and a wide smile was Lucas, who earlier disguised as Fred the investor. "Good evening, Ma," he greeted politely. Without thinking, Olivia grabbed his arm and pulled him inside, quickly closing the door behind them. "What are you doing here?" she asked sharply, looking around as if someone might be watching. Lucas chuckled softly. "Calm down, Ma. I just came to check on you. Richard sent me." "Richard?" Olivia's voice rose. "He sent you here? Why?" "To mess up everything I've worked for." "He just wanted to make sure you're okay," Lucas replied calmly. As he spoke, his phone vibrated. He pulled it out and glanced at the screen. "It's Richard," he said, holding the phone toward her. "He wants to talk to you." Olivia snatched the phone. "Richard, what is the meaning of this? Why did you send Lucas to ruin my plans?" "Calm down, Mom," Richard said. "Are you okay?" "Okay," Olivia repeated. "I would be okay if you stopped sending people to meddle in my business." "No one is meddling," Richard said. "Lucas is just there as an investor. Unless you decide to reveal yourself, no one will know anything." Olivia's anger calmed slightly. "You better not try anything funny." "I won't," Richard said with a small laugh. "Trust me, Mom, this is still your show." With a deep sigh, Olivia handed the phone back to Lucas. "You've done your part. You can leave now. Lucas nodded respectfully. Good night, Ma. Please take care of yourself. When the door closed behind him, Olivia leaned against it. That boy will give me a heart attack one day. For a second, I thought he had ruined everything. The next day, Olivia went back to work at the company. She acted like nothing had happened. She focused on her cleaning and avoided unnecessary attention. Meanwhile, Lucas began visiting the company more often to finalize his investment with Nuella. He stayed professional and respectful, but Becca made it her mission to be around him as much as possible. One afternoon, Lucas stayed longer than usual. As lunchtime neared, Becca saw her chance. She walked up to him with a big smile. "Mr. Fred," she said sweetly, "you've been working so hard. You must be hungry. Why don't you join me for lunch?" Lucas hesitated. That's not necessary." "I insist," Becca said, still smiling. "You can't work on an empty stomach." Before he could say no, she had already ordered a full meal to be delivered to the cafeteria. She led him to a table, hovering beside him while they waited. As they began eating, Olivia entered the cafeteria with her lunchbox. She had just stepped in when Becca's sharp voice rang out. "Hey, dirty cleaner, what are you doing here?" Becca pointed at Olivia dramatically. "You want to stink up the whole place with your smell? Get out!" Olivia froze, embarrassed. She held her lunch tightly and turned to leave. Lucas looked at Becca with a frown. "Who is she? And why are you speaking to her like that?" Becca rolled her eyes. "Don't mind her. She's just a cleaner. Smells like mop water all the time. Honestly, I don't know how her family left her like this. Maybe she's bad luck or something, but that's a problem." Lucas shook his head. "That's a shame." Before leaving the office that day, Becca approached him again. "Mr. Fred, can I have your number?" she asked with a smile. "You know, in case we need to talk about company matters." Lucas hesitated, but eventually gave her the number. Becca lit up like a child getting candy. As soon as he left, she rushed to brag. "You people should start calling me Mrs. Fred from now on," she declared loudly. "Very soon, I'll be the one running this company. Nuella and that dirty cleaner will be the first people I sack." Rita, eager to stay on Becca's good side, nodded quickly. "Exactly," she said. "They have no idea what's coming." With her new confidence, Becca became even worse. She walked around the office like she already owned it, barking orders at everyone and finding every chance to show off. "Olivia, you missed a spot." Becca snapped one afternoon, pointing to a part of the floor that was already clean. "Clean it again, and be quick about it." Olivia nodded without a word and continued cleaning, though she was frustrated. Rita, who was standing nearby, added with a smirk, "Honestly, Auntie Olivia, maybe you should just resign. Someone your age should be in the village, working on a farm." The two women laughed loudly, mocking her. That evening, the air in Olivia's small room was filled with the smell of stew. Rosaline was in the kitchen, stirring the pot, while Olivia sat on the bed, watching her with a thoughtful look. Rosaline had become a regular visitor, helping Olivia with chores and errands. But something still bothered Olivia. "Rosaline," Olivia said quietly, "there's something I've been meaning to ask you." Rosaline turned around, smiling. "Yes, Auntie Olivia." "You keep refusing to marry my son, but you're always here helping me. Why? What do you stand to gain?" Rosaline turned off the stove and faced Olivia, crossing her arms with a playful grin. "Auntie, do I have to gain something to help you? You're alone here. If I leave you like this, how would I feel?" Olivia sighed and shook her head. "But you know I don't have money to pay you, and you already said you won't marry my son. So why are you still here?" Rosaline smiled and sat on the bed beside her. "Auntie, I'm just being human. Not everyone helps others because of what they want to gain. But don't get me wrong, I still plan to marry a very rich man." Olivia threw her head back laughing. "You and this rich husband dream. Every time. Rich man this, rich man that. Do you think money grows on trees?" Rosaline shrugged dramatically. "If it doesn't grow on trees, I'll wait for the man who already picked it. I can't suffer. Auntie." Olivia laughed so hard that tears came out of her eyes. "You are something else, Rosaline. All right, let's see how this ends." After Rosaline left, Olivia sat quietly and picked up a phone. She called her son, Richard. He picked up quickly. "Mom, it's late. What's wrong?" Richard asked, sounding amused. "Richard, I've found the perfect wife for you," Olivia said firmly. There was a pause. Then Richard burst into laughter. "Perfect wife? Mom, this matchmaking of yours is really serious now. Have you already bought the wedding clothes?" Don't laugh. I'm serious, Olivia replied, smiling. She's hard-working, respectful, and kind. Everything a man needs in a wife. Richard's laughter faded. How well do you know her, Mom? Are you sure? I'm very sure, Olivia said confidently. I've been watching her. She's the one. Richard sighed. All right. If you're that sure, I think it's time I came down there. But listen, I'll talk to her myself. I agreed to this for your peace of mind, but I'm still the man. I'll handle it my way. Olivia laughed. Fine. Just don't disappoint me. Don't worry, Mom, Richard said. I've got this. When the call ended, Olivia smiled to herself. My son is truly a man, she whispered. Let's see how this plays out. The next morning, Rosaline came by early to help Olivia prepare lunch. She noticed Olivia's extra cheerful mood. Auntie Olivia, you look very happy this morning, Rosaline teased. Did you win a lottery? Olivia laughed. Something like that. But you'll find out soon. Rosaline gave her a curious look. Auntie, you're keeping secrets now. Olivia shrugged with a mysterious smile. All I'll say is, big things are coming. Rosaline rolled her eyes and went back to packing the lunch. All right, keep your secrets. Just don't forget me when your lottery ticket pays off. Olivia laughed again. You'll always be part of my plans. Meanwhile, Richard was making plans of his own. He stared at the photo Olivia had sent him and smiled. She looks interesting, he said to himself. He picked up his phone and called Lucas. Bro, I'm heading down tomorrow to meet your mom's chosen bride. Lucas asked, laughing. Something like that, Richard grinned. But just to be clear, I'm doing this my way. No interference. Of course, Lucas replied. But if she's as good as your mom says, don't mess it up. Relax, Richard said. By the time I'm done, she'll be begging to marry me. That evening, Rosaline was helping Olivia fold clothes. Rosaline, Olivia said again, what if my son comes tomorrow and sweeps you off your feet? Rosaline laughed so hard she nearly dropped the skirt she was folding. Auntie, your son will have to be a magician for that to happen. Unless he shows up with $1 billion in cash, I'm not moving an inch. Olivia shook her head. You're hopeless. Rosaline grinned. But you love me like that. Olivia smiled. Yes, I do. That same afternoon, Nuella went to the local shopping mall to pick up some groceries. She walked through the aisles quickly, picking up bread, milk, and vegetables. At the checkout line, she noticed a young man ahead of her. He was well-dressed, holding a small basket with a few energy drinks and snacks. He looked frustrated. I've tried it 3 times, sir, the cashier said. Your card isn't working. The man sighed. This is so embarrassing. Nuella stepped forward. Excuse me. Let me help. The man turned around, surprised. Oh no, you don't have to. It's fine. Nuella smiled. It's just a few items. Add it to mine. The cashier looked unsure but quickly scanned everything together. Nuella paid for both and began walking away with her bags. Wait. The man called after her, hurrying to catch up. Please, let me thank you properly. Nuella turned, amused. It's nothing. Anyone would have done the same. No, they wouldn't, the man said seriously. Kindness like this is rare. I can't let you walk away without showing my thanks. It's really not necessary, Nuella said. Please, he insisted. At least let me buy you dinner tomorrow. I'll feel better knowing I said thank you properly. Nuella hesitated, then nodded. All right, dinner it is. The next morning, Nuella was back at work, but something about her seemed off. She kept glancing at her phone, checking the time or rereading a message. It didn't take long for Becca to notice. She leaned toward Rita in the cafeteria and whispered playfully, Have you seen Nuella today? She looks like someone who just found out her sack letter is coming. Rita giggled. Maybe she's finally realized that Lucas is in love with you. She's probably shaking already. Becca laughed. She hasn't even seen anything yet. By the time I become Mrs. Lucas, she'll be running out of this office barefoot. The group burst into laughter. Their voices and mockery reached Olivia, who was quietly mopping the floor nearby. She frowned. Nuella wasn't someone who got distracted easily. Something was definitely going on. Later, Olivia gently knocked on Nuella's office door. Come in, Nuella called. Olivia stepped in carefully. Good morning. Are you okay? You seem distracted today. Nuella blinked, surprised. Was it that obverse? Olivia nodded. Yes. Is something wrong? Nuella hesitated, then laughed softly. It's nothing serious. I have a small date tonight. Olivia's eyes widened. A date? She asked before she could stop herself. Nuella giggled. Exactly. It's been a long time since I did anything like this. I don't even know what to expect. Olivia quickly smiled. Just be yourself. You're kind and thoughtful. Any man would be lucky to have you. And don't forget to show your smart business side too. Men love a woman who's both kind and smart. Nuella smiled warmly. Thank you, Olivia. That's really reassuring. Before Olivia left, Nuella handed her a small envelope. Hey, treat yourself to a nice lunch today. Olivia took it gratefully, but as she stepped out of the office, her heart started pounding. She hurried to a quiet corner and quickly dialed Richard's number. Richard, she nearly shouted when he answered. What are you doing? Where are you? Mom, Richard said calmly. What's wrong? Nuella, she's going on a date. Someone else is already asking her out, and you're still there doing nothing. Richard chuckled softly. Relax, Mom. You already sent me her picture, remember? I'll be in town tomorrow, and Lucas and I will come to the company. We'll surprise her. Olivia sighed with relief. You better not disappoint me. I won't, Richard said with a grin. Trust me. That evening, Nuella dressed carefully. She chose a beautiful, simple gown and added just a touch of makeup. As she looked at herself in the mirror, she smiled nervously. I hope this isn't too much, she said to herself. Just as she was wondering whether to wear a necklace, she heard a car horn outside. She looked out the window and froze. A sleek black car was waiting outside. It looked too luxurious for a simple dinner date. Is this for me? She whispered. When she stepped outside, the driver greeted her politely and opened the door. She hesitated, then slowly got in. This car is too much, she thought. What kind of man sends a car like this just for dinner? At the restaurant, Richard was already waiting. He looked sharp in a perfectly tailored suit. When Nuella arrived, he stood and smiled. You look beautiful, he said. Nuella blushed. Thank you. Their dinner went well. They talked about work, childhood memories, and favorite places to visit. Richard didn't mention his mother or the company. He focused on getting to know Nuella. She found herself laughing more than usual, and Richard seemed truly interested in everything she said. After dinner, Richard dropped her off at home. As she stepped out of the car, she realized something surprising. Richard no longer felt like a stranger. The office was busy the next day as everyone prepared for Mr. Fred's visit. But this time, he didn't come alone. He arrived with a younger man who instantly caught everyone's attention. Even though Mr. Fred was impressive, this man had a special presence. Lucas walked closely beside him, showing deep respect. Everyone whispered and stared. If Lucas had been a 100 before, this new man was easily a 1,000. They watched as Lucas led the man into Nuella's office. Inside, Nuella stood frozen. Richard? What are you doing here? She asked, shocked. Good morning, Nuella. Richard smiled. Before she could say more, Lucas stepped forward. Miss Nuella, meet my boss, Mr. Richard Mack. He's the CEO of the Mack Group of companies. Nuella's jaw dropped. You're the CEO? Richard nodded. It's still just Richard to you. Nuella's heart fluttered. She reached out slowly. Welcome, Richard. He shook her hand. Thank you, Nuella. Meanwhile, Becca had been watching from a corner. She nearly dropped her folder. Wait, what? She whispered to herself. Fred is his PA? An ordinary PA. So I've been chasing the wrong man all this time. She slapped her forehead dramatically. Becca, you need to switch gears fast. That man is the real deal. Fred was just a butterfly pretending to be the bird. Determined to act fast, Becca grabbed a random file and marched into Nuella's office, pretending to be looking for something. Good morning, Ma, Becca said sweetly, then turned to Richard. Sorry to interrupt, but I need you to sign this file urgently. Nuella raised an eyebrow, sensing Becca's behavior, but said nothing. Becca lingered, hoping Richard would notice her, but he didn't even look her way. After a while, she walked out, murmuring under her breath. After the meeting, Richard turned to Nuella with a smile. Would you like to have lunch with me? Nuella blinked in surprise. Lunch? Sure. As they walked out of the office together, Becca peeked from her hiding spot. Her face twisted with jealousy. What? She's going out with him? This can't be happening. She clenched her fists. I need to act fast. There's no way I'll let her win. While Becca was full of jealousy and anger, someone else was filled with joy. From a distance, Olivia watched as her son and Nuella laughed and walked out together. A smile spread across her face. "So it was my son all along," she whispered. "I underestimated him. But I should have known. Richard always finds a way." Back in the office, Becca was still fuming. "How did this happen?" she asked angrily. "How did Nuella end up with the man of my dreams?" She turned to Rita, who looked unsure of what to say. "I need a plan," Becca continued. "If I can't have him, then Nuella won't either." Rita nodded quickly. "Whatever you do, Becca, I'm with you." From the day of their lunch together, Richard started sending Nuella flowers every morning. Each bouquet was different, roses one day, lilies the next, even rare orchids sometimes. He always included a box of her favorite chocolates, too. The office buzzed with whispers every time the delivery man arrived. Becca, in particular, couldn't hide her jealousy. She sat at her desk, glaring at Nuella as she accepted the gifts with a shy smile. "So it's flowers and chocolates now," Becca muttered angrily. She turned to Rita, who was filing her nails. "She thinks she's special because a man is sending her flowers. As if we don't know what's going on." Rita leaned closer, curious. "What do you mean?" Becca lowered her voice slightly, making sure others could still hear. "It's obvious. Nuella is sleeping with that investor. Why else would he be spoiling her like this? She's risking the company's name with her cheap behavior." Rita gasped, her eyes wide. "Becca, you're so smart. I didn't even think of that." The gossip spread fast. Soon, other staff members were giving Nuella strange looks. But Nuella, unaware of the rumors, focused on her work. Her heart quietly fluttered each time she saw Richard's name on a card. Becca grew more bitter. No matter how hard she tried, Richard never looked her way. It was like she didn't even exist. "This is ridiculous," she complained one afternoon. "How can he not notice me? Am I not beautiful? Am I not charming?" Rita nodded in sympathy. "You are all those things, Becca. Maybe he's just blind." Becca sighed dramatically. "I've wasted enough time. If he doesn't want me, fine. But I won't leave empty-handed. I'll go back to Lucas." Later that day, Becca walked up to Lucas with a big smile. "Lucas," she said sweetly, "it's been a while since we had a proper chat." Lucas raised an eyebrow. "What do you want, Becca?" "Oh, nothing," she replied, pretending to be innocent. "Just wanted to check on you. You've been so busy with meetings lately." Lucas gave her a short response. "Fine." But Becca kept pushing. "You know, Lucas, I've been thinking. We've always gotten along. Maybe we should." Lucas interrupted her. "You should focus on your character instead of chasing men. This Jezebel behavior won't get you anywhere." Becca's jaw dropped. "Jezebel? Me? That's not fair. People are just mean to me." Lucas shrugged. "If you say so." Becca felt insulted but didn't give up easily. "You'll see, Lucas. I'm not as bad as you think." Lucas simply walked away without another word. The next morning, the staff noticed that Olivia hadn't come to work. By midday, Becca was already complaining loudly. "Can you imagine the nerve of that woman?" she said. "She wants to start coming late like she owns the place. I'll make sure her salary is cut in half." Some staff laughed. Others nodded in agreement. Meanwhile, Nuella was genuinely worried. She tried calling Olivia, but her phone was off. "This isn't like her," Nuella said with concern. That evening, Rosaline arrived at Olivia's house like she always did. She found Olivia sitting on the bed, packing clothes into a bag. "Auntie Olivia, what's going on?" Rosaline asked. Olivia sighed. "My son sent for me. I'll be leaving soon." Rosaline's face fell. "Leaving? Auntie, what about me?" Olivia smiled gently. "I'll take you with me." Rosaline laughed. "Auntie, I was just joking. I don't even have a job. You want me to come and be a burden to you and your son." "You won't be a burden," Olivia said. "Everything will be fine." Just then, there was a knock at the door. Olivia opened it and found Lucas standing there with some shopping bags. "Good evening, Ma," Lucas said warmly, handing her the bags. "These are from Richard. He asked me to bring them to you." "Thank you, Lucas," Olivia said with a smile. Rosaline, who had been sitting quietly, looked up at Lucas, surprised. "Auntie, who is this?" she asked. Olivia smiled. "This is Lucas. She paused, smiling again. Rosaline looked at both of them, confused but polite. As Lucas turned to leave, Olivia said, "Rosaline, please see him off." Rosaline hesitated but nodded. Outside, as they walked together, her curiosity got the better of her. Thank you for visiting Auntie Olivia, she said. But if you don't mind me asking, why did you leave her all alone all this time? Lucas laughed. Auntie Olivia is very stubborn. She doesn't listen to anyone, not even her son. Rosaline raised an eyebrow. Her son? Where is he? Lucas grinned. You'll find out soon. Then he added, by the way, can I have your number? Rosaline hesitated, but eventually gave it to him. All right, but don't call me at odd hours. Lucas laughed again. Fair enough. Good night. When Rosaline came back inside, she couldn't hold back her curiosity any longer. Auntie, that man said is your nephew, and he looks like someone who has money. Why didn't you let him help you? Or is he stingy? Olivia burst into laughter. Stingy? Lucas? You'll understand everything soon, my dear. Just be patient. Rosaline crossed her arms, still unconvinced. Auntie, I hope you're not planning something funny. Olivia smiled mysteriously. You'll see. Nuella couldn't shake the strained feeling growing inside her. It had been 2 days since Olivia missworked, and that was not like her at all. Olivia was always punctual and serious about her duties. Nuella tried calling her again, but the phone was still switched off. She stepped out of her office and asked the staff in the hallway, Does anyone know where Olivia lives? Most people shook their heads, except for Idris the gate man. I saw her going into a compound once, Idris said. I can describe it. Nuella thanked him, wrote down the directions, and left immediately. With Idris's help, she found Olivia's house. She knocked gently, and when Olivia opened the door, her face lit up with surprise and joy. Madam Nuella, you found me. Nuella smiled. Yes, I had to. We've been worried about you. Olivia stepped aside, and Nuella entered. She sat on the edge of the bed. I'm sorry for missing work without telling anyone, Olivia said. I wasn't feeling well. My phone had no network. Nuella nodded. I understand. We missed you. Are you feeling better now? Olivia gave a soft smile. Yes, much better. Thank you. They talked for a while. Then Nuella asked, You live here alone? Do you have any family? Olivia's smile faded, and her face changed. She paused, then spoke slowly. I did, but not anymore. She took a deep breath. I had a twin brother, Paul. We were very close. He got married 2 years after I did. We thought everything would be perfect. But his marriage, it was a nightmare. His wife was hot-tempered and impatient. They argued all the time. She accused him of cheating, even though he wasn't. Nothing he did was ever enough. Nuella listened quietly. One night, after another fight, they went to bed. But while he slept, she locked the doors and set the house on fire. Olivia's voice broke. They both died, burned to ashes. Nuella gasped, covering her mouth. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. My parents couldn't handle the loss, Olivia continued. They died shortly after. I was left with nothing but pain. Nuella gently took her hand. You've been through so much. You're so strong. Olivia wiped her tears. Since that day, I swore my son would never make the same mistake. A bad partner can destroy a person's life. Is your son married now? Nuella asked. Olivia's lips curved into a soft smile. Not yet, but I think he's found the right woman. And I'm proud. Nuella smiled slightly. I hope it works out. It will, Olivia said with confidence. And you, don't be afraid to give a good man a chance. If his character is right, take the leap. Nuella laughed. I'll think about it. The next day, an unexpected email went out to the staff. It said the company would be receiving some important visitors and that a major change was coming. Everyone was surprised but quickly got ready. Just before noon, the sound of luxury cars filled the compound. The staff watched in silence as 2 well-dressed men stepped out, followed by Lucas and Richard. Then, a woman stepped out of one car wearing an elegant designer dress and a fancy hat that partly covered her face. Who is she? Someone whispered. She looks like royalty, another person said. The group entered the conference room where Nuella was waiting. The rest of the staff remained outside. Inside the room, Nuella greeted the guests, though her eyes kept going to the mysterious woman. The 2 men introduced themselves. We are representatives of the C family, one of them said. We're here to finalize the transfer of ownership. The Mack family has officially bought this company. Nuella's jaw dropped. Purchased? I didn't know the company was for sale. It was a private deal, they explained. The documents will be signed now. After the signing, the 2 men left, leaving Nuella alone with Richard, Lucas, and the mystery woman. The woman slowly removed her hat. Nuella gasped, "Olivia!" Olivia smiled. "Yes, it's me." Nuella froze in shock. I don't understand," she said. Olivia spoke gently. "Calm down, Nuella. Let me explain. I'm Olivia Mack, wife of the late Jacob Mack and managing director of Mack Group. Richard is my son. Lucas is his PA. Nuella sat back in her chair, speechless. You own this company." "Yes," Olivia said. "All that cleaning and pretending, it was my way of finding the right woman for my son. You remember the story I told you about my brother?" Olivia continued. "It was all real. I did this to protect my son from choosing the wrong woman. I had to be sure." Nuella was now in tears. "I don't know what to say." Olivia smiled. "Just say yes to my son." Right then, Richard knelt down, holding a small velvet box. "Nuella, will you marry me?" Nuella gasped, tears falling. She nodded quickly. "Yes," a solid yes. The room filled with applause. Richard slid the ring on her finger. Olivia hugged her. "Welcome to the family," she whispered. Lucas cleared his throat. "Now that the company belongs to us, I think it's time we make some changes. This place has been too toxic for growth." Everyone agreed. They stepped into the lobby, where the rest of the staff had gathered. The room went silent when they saw Olivia standing among the investors. Nuella stepped forward and spoke loudly. "This is to inform you that the company is now under new ownership. It has been sold to the Mack family. The new managing director will speak now." Olivia stepped forward. "I'll keep this short. Some of you will not continue this journey with us." The room grew still. She continued, "But before I mention names, I have a word for those who have been mean, hateful, and disrespectful. Your bad behavior has helped us recognize the good ones. But while you have a right to be unkind, you don't get to escape the results." She paused, then said clearly, "Rita and Mr. Idris, your services are no longer needed. Please leave now. If you stay, it will be considered trespassing. Others will take over your role starting tomorrow." Becca's face lit up with a smirk, thinking Nuella had also been fired. But Olivia went on. "Nuella, who is now my son's fiancée, will be taking over from me as managing director. She and Richie will work together from our headquarters. It's a blessing to have both business sense and kindness in one family." The news shocked everyone, including Nuella. She hadn't expected this promotion. Becca tried to walk over to Lucas to beg, but security grabbed her and dragged her out quickly. As the Mack family prepared to leave, Lucas paused. "There's one more thing." Olivia raised an eyebrow. "What is it?" "Rosaline," Lucas said. "I've been talking to her for a while now. I'm not leaving without her." Olivia's face lit up with a big smile. "That's exactly what I hoped to hear. Let's go get her." When they arrived at Rosaline's house, she was already outside with her bag packed. She looked nervous and confused. "Good evening, Auntie," Rosaline said as she looked between the elegant cars and Lucas. Olivia beamed. "Rosaline, meet my son Richard and his fiancée Nuella." Lucas stepped forward and took her hand. "Thank you for all the help you gave, Auntie. You've been amazing. Now, it's time to come with us. We'll explain everything." As they boarded the plane, Olivia looked proudly at the young couples, Richard and Nuella, Lucas and Rosaline. She turned to Lucas and whispered, "You better take care of Rosaline, or you'll answer to me." Lucas laughed. "Yes, Ma." Olivia leaned back in her seat with a peaceful smile. "My husband must be smiling in heaven now," she thought. "Richard is in good hands. But first, I have 2 weddings to plan." She closed her eyes and smiled. Mission complete. Moral of the story: true character is revealed in how we treat others, not in how we appear. Patience, kindness, and humility are more valuable than status or wealth. Sometimes, the best way to find what you're looking for is to look beyond the surface. And above all, love and loyalty, built on genuine respect, will always stand the test of time. Thank you for watching the story. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share them in the comment section. What part of the story did you enjoy the most? What lesson did you learn? Who was your favorite character? And who did you like the least? Don't forget to give this story a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so you don't miss out on more interesting stories. Until next time, bye.